G'day everyone, Duckville here. Welcome to a Protoss vs Zerg game. Of course, there have been a lot of those lately. I don't know what's going on with that, but there have seemed to be, I'll get my words right, some really good games in the PvZ genre at the moment. But starting out here on Condemned Ridge, of course, one of the slightly newer ladder maps, although I suppose it's not really that new anymore. It's been a season and a half. We will be seeing our Red Zerg player. This is RageHarmless. I'm not sure if that's his exact name, but either way, we'll see him starting out here at the top right-hand side of this extremely large map. And he is actually, wow, he's going to go for a very quick pull there. So he's just going straight up for that very quick pull. Now, of course, his Protoss opponent on the top left-hand side is the blue mGGAlpha. You may have seen him in some of the other games that I've done casts of. There was some from the Vroom 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 tournament up in Brisbane. He had a couple of games there, and I did some casts of those. Yeah, we'll see what he gets up to here, because he is going to have to get something clever going, because his opponent is going to get these lings out very quickly. And of course, with the size of this map, as we can see, his Alpha's probe has only just gotten down to the southern base, and he's actually technically gone the wrong way to actually find his opponent. Now, the good thing that he's done is he's sent out his second probe, which has built the forge across over here, and that is going to find what his opponent is doing. Now, the thing is, of course, by the time he gets in, these lings are already going to be on the way. As we can see, 3 eggs are just about to complete here. They're going to hatch out those 6 lings, and they're going to make their way across the map. As we can see, here they go. They're going to get there as quick as they can. A couple of extra lings also in production at the moment, and it looks as if, wow, I don't know if Alpha actually saw that, but he has, he's still, there he goes, he's finally spotted what's going on. Pylon goes up inside the main. Now, of course, when you're dealing with early lings, you need to get a pylon up here. Another really cute tactic that I've seen people do, and I've tried out myself, is to hide a probe down here, just in case your opponent skips the forge and the pylon and tries to run in here and get some damage done. Now, what do you do with the probe down here? Put another cannon down. That can stop any further lings getting in. It can trap these ones inside so they can't get too much damage done. But it looks as if Harmless is already, he's going to do the correct decision here and take down the pylon first so that no more cannons can be built. And these 8 lings are now going to stream inside. Unfortunately, they're not going to get too much damage done. With some decent probe control, Alpha should be able to keep most of these alive. We'll keep an eye on what's going on. There it is, 4, 5, 6, possibly 7. No, he doesn't escape with the lings for the moment, or most of them, and he should be able to get rid of the forge. Yeah, there it goes. So Alpha loses a few there. It was just sort of a bit unfortunate that his scouting was just a little bit late on that. Normally, with this type of attack, you shouldn't really lose too many of those probes, because of the fact that the cannon should get up in time. But there have been a lot of lings made, and there is a drone sitting inside Alpha's. Oh my god, there is going to be a hatchery built inside the main. So Harmless is not only going to follow up this I wouldn't say that was a hugely successful early pull, but it wasn't bad. I mean, you got a couple of probe kills, but now with the Protoss sitting here with a cannon, the gate is already up, Cyber is on the way. He's going to follow it up with an in-base hatchery. Now, obviously, this can lead to spine crawlers being built inside the base, which can be quite annoying to deal with. And it looks like Alpha had to deal with the lings trying to run through again. With so many of those lings around, Harmless just says, you know what, I'm going to sacrifice a couple of these and send them in to try and get some damage done. Meanwhile, where is this drone going? I'm not sure where this one is off to, but Alpha is going to put down a pylon, making sure that his opponent cannot take that natural in response to any sort of aggression that may come about. And Alpha is going to have to deal with this hatchery. He still has not spotted that just yet. He still thinks that his opponent is just sort of sitting in here. He did send in that probe and scout what was going on. He sort of saw that there was still this very meager drone count at the moment, and that sort of says, you know, well, what is my opponent up to? He's either trying to build another base somewhere, perhaps down here at my natural, or perhaps he's trying to get something else done. But either way, you got to be very careful. Got to get that cybernetics core churning away at the warp gate tech very quickly. And as we can see, Harmless is going to go for a couple of spine crawlers. Now, a little bit surprised he hasn't built a queen. It would probably love to see a queen come out because that would be quite helpful, spreading out some creep, making sure that the spine crawlers can move around, and he's going to get 3 spine crawlers in total. Now, Alpha probably has seen, let's see if he's actually seen it in the cam just yet. We're in the Alpha cam right now. He's busy dealing with this Overlord. Does get rid of that, has a couple of lings poke across at him at the moment, and there he goes. He should have seen it. There it is. There is that vision of the creep spreading through. That is the time where you go, uh-oh, I am now in a little bit of trouble. Now, what is he going to do to counter this? Of course, the Cybernetics Core is in a bit of jeopardy here with the spine crawlers out and already burrowed inside the range of the Cyber. That is going to be in quite a bit of trouble. Now, he doesn't really have enough Chrono Boost to get this out before the Warp Gate tech finishes, so the Lings are also going to help out, and they should deal with that. In fact, he's going to sacrifice a Stalker or a Zealot perhaps to make sure this Cyber can finish off the Warp Gate tech, but it is not going to happen. 3 spine crawlers are about to be finished up here, and that is going to really give him a lot of power in pushing through Alpha's very limited defenses at the moment, and with no Forge, there can be no more cannons, which would help, but unfortunately with those out of action, that is not going to be coming up. So Alpha trying to get out another Stalker. There he is. So he's got 3 Stalkers at the moment with the 3 spine crawlers. It's entirely possible with some, 4 Stalkers I should say, it's entirely possible with some really good micro to take down the 3 spine crawlers with only a couple of Stalkers, but without with those Lings there, that's going to sort of make a little bit of trouble with that. But Harmless back at home, getting a couple more drones up. He's also got a spine crawler on the way. He does not know what's going on here. That's a little bit suspicious, but now with the gateway taken down, a pylon also down, Alpha is sort of in a very, very tricky spot. Now he's going to respond to this by saying he's got the pylon up, there is a gate now done, and 2 cannons being built at the natural base of Harmless. So Harmless is going to have his own trouble trying to take that expansion back, but the thing is Alpha is not going to be able to get through to take down this hatchery just yet, which is going to be quite annoying for him. Now, as we can see, Alpha is trying to just sort of maneuver himself into a really good spot to take down one of these spine crawlers, but one of his Stalkers is quite low, so I'm not sure how successful that is going to be. Let's have a quick look at the work account. We've got Alpha sitting on 29 probes at the moment. There are 13 drones for Harmless, so he's not going to be sort of in a really good economy shape just yet, but with 2 more spine crawlers building, and those spine crawlers now moving into position to try and take down the Nexus, this is going to be perhaps lights out very soon for Alpha, but he does have enough money to construct another Nexus down at what is normally the 3rd base of his opponent. So this is going to get very, very interesting, I would say. And wow, there's a couple of drones just sitting out here doing nothing for Harmless. Perhaps he's going to build another hatchery somewhere. We'll keep an eye on what those do. But 4 of the spine crawlers poking away at the Nexus that's about to go down, and things are going to get very interesting here. We'll probably see the probes transfer down to that other Nexus down at the eastern side of the map, and here they go. It's the probes just braving their way past the spine crawlers. A couple are going to go down. There he goes. He sort of rallied them across to the side to make sure they don't take too much damage, and there they go. So they're going to escape for now. And the spine crawler is going to reposition because it looks like Harmless is going to say, you know what, you've abandoned this base, I'm going to take it because I'm going to sit here. Now, back on the other side of the map, Harmless is aware that there is something fishy going on, and now he knows that there is a gateway and a few cannons alongside a pylon down here inside his own natural base. Now, he's going to try and burrow this spine crawler into position. I think he should be able to get it with the Queen adding on a transfuse or 2. She is going to really help out. Yeah, and there it goes. So, one of the spine crawlers gets up, and that is going to really help out with Harmless's defense of what is currently his main base, despite the weird fact that his natural has been usurped by Alpha here. So Harmless is losing 2 of these spine crawlers. Of course, the other 2 up the top of the ramp are re-burrowing there, so they're not going to be able to defend their brothers on the low ground. But now we can see that Alpha is trying to take advantage of the fact that he has these Stalkers doing that damage to the spines, and they are going to take some of them down, but the spine crawlers have lowered down the count of the Stalkers at the moment. So things, I don't know what's happening in this game. There is a cannon here that's going to hold position and just try and make sure that Harmless is not able to take this base too quickly. He's going to have to move some of these spine crawlers across to get rid of that. And there come a couple of drones, actually. A little bit interesting, sending those into battle. And in fact, 2 of the drones... Oh, takes a couple of shots there, but the drones do survive, so a lot of poking going on in this game at the moment. It is absolutely insane up in here. The supply count looking good for Alpha. He's up at 40 supply to the 25 of Harmless. Of course, a lot of that is invested in those probes, so that means that Alpha is going to have a really nice economy. As we can see, he's sitting up there at 30 probes to the 18 drones of Harmless, and Harmless is only just now. We are 13 minutes into this game, and he is only just getting his gases now because he's spent so much money getting up the spine crawlers. He's of course built the hatchery over here and is now trying to take the position of this of what used to be Alpha's side of the map. This is like a very interesting base trade in a way, in the fact that he's effectively taken over his opponent's base. You often see this in PvP when you get a cannon rush and you cannon rush someone, then you sort of take over their base. And it gets a little bit weird like that. So the situation at the moment, Alpha looking pretty good at the moment. He's sort of locked down his opponent inside the main. Of course, as we can see, Harmless trying to spend some of his money investing in a macro hatch inside the main. But the tech is on the way for Alpha. He's got a Twilight Council done, waiting for a little bit more gas than I would assume. He's going to get a Dark Shrine started very soon. Now, what I want to do is just make sure that the Zerg does not power his way out and do a little bit of, I'm sure you all know that Jimmy No movie from Destiny, where he sort of where the Zerg powered his way out with the roaches and came down, because of course a bunch of roaches would be able to take down these cannons, there's no question about that, but the issue is actually getting out. With these cannons here to defend this natural expand, he's going to have a little bit of trouble getting out, not to mention with a couple of sentries here as well. So it looks as if Alpha just scouting out what's going on. As you can see, there is a lot of creep spread here at his old side of the map. Meanwhile, a hatchery is also just about to complete for Harmless on the left side as well. So he's trying to, Harmless is trying to just sort of rebuild what would normally be a really good economic point for the Zerg at the moment, but Alpha has just got so much money flooding in at the moment because he does have all of those probes working away on those bases. We've got the Dark Shrine on the way, robotics facility just sort of completing this. I'm pretty sure that completes a wall off there. So he is going to be able to get out perhaps a warp prism and jump inside the main and get past these spine crawlers, or perhaps just an observer to keep an eye on what is going on. But this is all about to be spotted by a Zergling here, so Harmless being very nice on his scouting information, but the thing is, he really can't do too much about it. He's got his creep spread going, but again, there is really too much going on for him here at the moment with all these spine crawlers defending this base, and he's trying to get his economy up. As we can see, 31 harvesters to the 38 probes, and I'm sure that's about to boost up very quickly here for Alpha. As we can see, he's just transferred a whole bunch of those, and he's about to get that extra base down the bottom mining. We've now got an observer out, and the warp prism is also on the way, so it definitely is going to be some sort of drop, whether it be into the main base here or whether it be just across to the left side to take care of this this satellite base here for Harmless. I'm not too sure just yet, but 17.5 minutes in, Harmless just now getting his lair. Of course, this game has been a very, very crazy one, trying to figure out exactly what's going on. But there's the Evo chamber, just a standard 18-minute Evo chamber here for Harmless. Does he have a Roach Warren on the way? Not just yet. He's just got a lot of Lings and a lot of drones at the moment. He's just trying to, as we said, really get himself back into a good position. But the Lings have now just decided to run by. It looks as if he is going to try and get past the forces of Alpha and get inside one of his expansions down the bottom, but as a trade to that, 4 DTs have gotten inside the main, and Harmless on the ball straight away, getting those drones out. He's going to have to get them across to the other side. Is Harmless going to be captured by these sentries? No, I don't think so. Alpha a little bit busy with trying to defend one of these bottom bases here, trying to get a wall up, but it was a little bit too late, and the Lings have gotten inside. The cannons are now going to go down. There is the last cannon going down. These Lings, of course, they're not the greatest units when they are trying to bust through a wall like this, but if they're already inside, they're going to get a lot of damage done. And as you can see, a couple of DTs had to be warped in to take care of that, but Alpha has found that there was a Baneling nest, has gotten rid of that, he's gotten rid of the lair as well, and obviously most of the economy of Harmless has been destroyed for the moment, but of course the drones have come back to mine at this left-hand side, with 29 drones remaining. A whole bunch of them just popping out now as well. It looks as if Alpha is going to be able to secure this one, just just plainly because of the fact that he's kept his economy going constantly through this whole game. With all these probes being built, the DT's able to take advantage of the fact that there was no detection at the front door here for Harmless. He was able to get inside, take down the lair, which means that any sort of further tech from Harmless is going to be quite delayed. As we can see, the lair is now completed on the left-hand side. The spire is going up as well. Perhaps a late switch to mutas is on the cards for Harmless, but I'm not sure if it's going to be in time. And yeah, there you go. Hilarious game mentioned from Harmless. DT's dropping in. The Prism is going to switch into pylon mode, dropping in a few more units, going to be able to take down this expansion, and I would think he should be able to get down here and do some damage inside the what is effectively now the main base of Harmless as well. So I think this one's going to draw to a close very soon. But Alpha, just making sure that he's got all of his tech going as well, has got just making sure everything is defended nicely. But great economic play from Alpha to keep everything going, keeping all of his probes alive as long as possible, and keeping that economic lead. And here we go with some DTs and Zealots now sitting up here at the top, switching into an Archon to take care of the large amount of Lings that is now present on the map. And with another expeditionary force down the bottom, just cleaning up these creep. This was really good creep spread, just sort of randomly from Harmless. He had really good creep spread, despite the fact that this game was a little bit odd. But now that it's all being swept up, and he's going to lose that base. There it goes, and we've only got the Spine Crawlers and the Spores, a couple of Queens and some drones left over for Harmless. He's trying to get some mutas into the fight. As we can see, those are going to try and morph in as quickly as possible, but it is not going to happen with an Archon out, with some Stalkers, and with this final attack coming in from Alpha. I don't think this is going to last too long, but Alpha, good play, deflecting that very early pull attack there with the Lings, and then was able to deal with an in-base hatchery by not dealing with it, by just evacuating, getting out, taking one of his opponent's bases, and then just sort of holding his tech and getting up through there. Of course, DT is a great way to deal with a Zerg who tries to do some crazy early shenanigans, but there it is, the final attack coming through. We've got Alpha pushing in two sides, Zealots coming in from the top, the mutas have finally popped out, but an Archon is going to use the Pimp Fist and deal with them quite easily, and the Stalkers are going to say hello as well, and there you go. That is probably going to be the end of it for Harmless, and he goes down. GG, great attempt with that in-base hatchery, but unfortunately Alpha just doing an absolutely beautiful play and switching it around and shoving it right back in his opponent's face. So hope you guys enjoyed that one. That was a really interesting game, and I'll catch you all next time. Cheers.